1, 2, check. 1, 2. Lesson 106. Rounding. One second. Hopefully this is clear. Rounding and ordering decimal numbers through 10,000ths. I ran out of space there, obviously. All right. So, as we move to the right on this chart, we see that each place is 1/10 of the value from the place to its left. So we have hundredths place, tens place, ones place, tenths place, hundredths place, thousandths place, and 10,000ths place. Okay, so the decimal point moves over 1 each spot. So we've got 100, 10, 1, 1/10, 100th, 1,000th, and 1/10,000th. And if we were using 10 as our base, which we do, then in the metric system, you do 10 times 10 for hundreds, 10 times 1 for tens, 1 for ones place, 1 divided by 10 for tenths place, 1 divided by 100 for 100ths place, 1 divided by 1,000 for 1,000ths place, and 1 divided by 10,000 for 10,000ths place. And you can see the fraction that goes with this. 1/10, tenths place, 1 100ths for 100ths place, 1 1,000th for 1,000ths place, and 1 10,000ths for 10,000ths place. All right. So, example 1. Use words to name 12 and 60 and 625 thousandths. Remember that you only say the and at a decimal. So that will help you. So you say 12 and, I spelled 12 wrong. 12, TWELVE, and 625 thousandths. Okay, you got to make sure you have that thousand THS when it's talking about the space that's 3 away from the decimal on the right. All right, example 2. Round 7 345 thousandths to the nearest whole number. So you're going to look at this decimal, the 5. Well, you're going to look at the whole number, obviously, and then you're going to look at this second decimal, because this is the one that's going to determine if you are bumping this up or leaving it down, okay? Because remember, 7.5 or 7 5/10ths is the determining factor for if you are bumping it up to 8 or bumping it down to 7, because remember on our number line that we did a couple lessons ago here in lesson 104 is that 7 1/2 or 7 5/10ths is the determining factor for if we move it up or down, okay? So we've got 7 345 thousandths. So since that 3 is less than 5, we're going to round it down to 7. All right. Example 3. Compare 4 5/10ths to 4 456 thousandths. So you're going to need to look at this 5 and this 4, and 5 is greater than 4, so 4.5 is greater than, or 4 5/10 is greater than 4 456 thousandths. Excuse me. Example 4. Arrange these decimal numbers in order from least to greatest. I don't know. Yeah, you can see it now. So we've got 0 and 45 hundredths, 0 and 457 thousandths, and 0 and 5/10. Okay, so we're looking from least to greatest. That is the first thing to pay attention to. And the second thing to pay attention to is that just because this 5 is the greatest, so we know this one will be last. That will be the greatest out of these numbers. And then we need to determine which one is the least. And you see that this first number, 45 hundredths and 457 thousandths, both have 45 as their first two digits. So the only difference is that this middle number has a 7 here. Well, that 7 adds value, obviously, not much value because it's just 1 1/1000th, but it is still value. So that makes this one have greater value than this one, and that is, so that basically puts them already in order. I didn't do that, the book did, as the least, middle, and greatest, just like this. Example, so wait, the way they want me to tell you this is by ordering your numbers like this. So if you put them in order and lined up the decimals this way, you're going to see that this one is least because it stops at 45. So this imaginary line that I'm imaginary drawing here, which is not even straight, because even in my imagination I can't draw straight lines, you see that these numbers before the imaginary line are identical, and since this one adds to it, it adds value, and this is the greater number, so it's the greatest. So that's another way to determine which number is the greatest and which number is the least. Example 5, write this number as a fraction, then name both numbers. So this number is 457 thousandths. So we're going to write it as a fraction, and since I just said thousandths as my last number, we know that 1,000 is the denominator and 457 would be the numerator. So that is that number as a fraction. And then name both numbers, 457 thousandths and 457 over 1,000 or thousandths, 457 thousandths. Okay, and then for lesson practice down here, I don't have A because you'll have to do A for homework because I'm not going to draw out all the coins, but I do have B through I, and then also you'll have to do J for homework because I couldn't fit it on here. Use words to name each number. At this point in the lesson, please do a secret symbol, and you're going to be able to choose whatever symbol you want. You can choose from hearts, stars, or smiley faces and put it in put a heart, star, or smiley face, whichever one you want, in the 0 of lesson 106. Please and thank you. So it says, use words to name each number. I'm not going to say these numbers correctly because then I would be giving you the answers, but you have 6, decimal point 875. For C, you have 0, decimal point 025. D, 0, decimal point 16. And then the directions for this one is round each number to the nearest whole number. You have for E, 4, decimal point 375. F, 2, decimal point 625. G, 1, decimal point 33. And then for H, you're comparing 0.375, my compare circle, 0.0375. And for I, arrange these numbers from least to greatest. 0 0.15, 0.102, 0.125, and 0.1. All right. And these ones, you got to remember that you're looking specifically at that number to see which you're rounding up or if you're going back down, okay? Have a great day. See you later.